You are listening to Seek Purpose, the podcast, where guests share how they have survived their pain, explored their passions, and found their purpose.
We are the platform that gives a voice to journeys of recovery and the opportunity to get inspired by those who have overcome their hurts, habits, and hang-ups.
You've found your pathway to recovery. Now it's time to find your pathway to purpose.
Subscribe to this show, join our online community, and become a purpose seeker today.
Today, we are just taking it easy, having some fun. We don't have a guest because we were planning on wrapping up the season, getting ready for Just for 24, which is coming up next month. I can't believe.
And we're going to talk about that tonight for sure.
Yeah.
A lot of you might not know what that is. A lot of you have just kind of gone into the recovery scene and celebrating sobriety through this pandemic, which is crazy. And you're like, what's Just for 24? And we're going to tell you all about it.
Yes. For those of you who were here last year with us, you'll know exactly what it is, but there's so many more people in this community now, which we're so excited about. I can't believe just like since November, things have really exploded. I guess since we started taking this seriously.
Actually, we actually had we kind of broke up. I mean, Brooke thought we broke up like for permo, and I broke up for like maybe 20 minutes after I hung up from her. And then of course, you know, it was kind of crazy. And then I kind of showed up to our recovery meeting and she's like, why is she showing up here? And then from there, you know, just like life, that's what I love about Seek Purpose and how we've grown. I was just saying it on the live TikTok, how, you know, we started off as like a social experiment and we didn't know where it was going to go. And through it, the growth that I've experienced myself personally, us together as a partnership, and Seek Purpose itself has just evolved. And, you know, we've gone through things like every great relationship does. And that is great times, tough times, angry times, frustration, and joy and love that's beyond. And I just summed up our marriage, marriage.
Our work marriage. Actually, that's so funny because on that episode with Nikki and John, I was like, we need to get like a relationship coach for business. Like that needs to be a thing. I bet you, because so many people are into starting businesses and stuff right now, it's easier than ever. Like literally anybody can do this. Not that it's easy, but you can get started. Whether or not you're gonna stick it out, that's another story. But yeah, I think relationship coaches for business relationships is going to be huge. There's so many things happening, like we're not together anymore. We have to do things remotely, so you kind of lose that synchronicity, I guess, or whatever. Like there's just a little bit more distance and it's harder to collaborate, I think. So there was a lot of things at play that just put a lot of stress on, I think, every relationship, not just our business relationship, but marriages, friendships. Like a lot of relationships have been struggling this year, and I think that's why some of our best episodes have been Let's Talk About Sex with Lauren and Nikki and John, who came on to talk about marriage and, you know, getting through that in recovery.
Yes, I just showed. I didn't decide what I was going to do because I love doing TikToks, and you know, I came obviously part of what they talk about marriage and relationships. And when you've been together with somebody as long as I have, it's tough. There's some really moments that were just really, really difficult, and getting through the other side, it is the greatest joy, and things do get better. And our marriage is a little crazy, a little fun, but man, it's been fun getting onto this TikTok, and I make my husband do the craziest things. So I will give you a little pre-curse.
Oh my gosh.
Should I? I'll do it live. I'm going to do it. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. I got to figure out how to use TikTok here because I'm such a novice at this. Okay, here we go. We're going to play it. I'll go like this.
Let's fuck around. Every now and then he get a little bit horny and he think I'm going down. Let's fuck around. Every now and then I get a little bit tired of hearing.
She's embarrassed now because this is what she deals with. I'm immature, yes I am, and I'm 52. And I've been sober almost 30 years. This is what you get to look forward to. Yay!
Yeah, that's when you really know there's no fucks left to give.
That's right, exactly. Absolutely. You just own your shit and, you know, live your best life.
I love it. Well, let's get started because it is 7:01.
Oh, juice. No, I don't want to do that again. How do you stop it?
We have a new theme song for Seek Purpose.
Oh my goodness me. I can't believe I do believe I just did that. 'Cause really, I got nothing to hide. That's the greatest thing about being in recovery and finding your purpose. And sometimes your purpose is just embracing who you are, the crazy, the wacky, the flawed, and just loving on it. So that's, where am I? Okay, I gotta get back onto live. Hi. Okay. There we go.
Amazing. Hey, everybody. My name is Brooke.
Hi, friends. I'm Suzanne.
And this is Seek Purpose, the podcast. We are doing a season 4 wrap, but we're probably going to call this like a mid-season wrap because we're going to definitely add some more episodes to this roster. But we wanted to kind of show... I'll cut this out later. We wanted to... to go back and share all of the amazing guests that have come on so far this year for our season 4, and just take a look back at our favorite moments and episodes, and then also share with you the really exciting, incredible things that are coming for Seek Purpose. We really started getting serious with this in November of last year, and since then we've learned a lot more. We've just taken a course. We're doing some business planning and really turning this into something incredible that's going to be able to help so many people not just find their purpose, but be able to give back and use it and get their voices heard and create more impact in the world. So we're so excited about that.
I know. It's I think that was the best thing that has happened is since Christmas, something kind of happened when 2020 hit, and things all started coming together, and we've learned so much from all of our guests, all of you who have given us such great inspiration on your stories and your transformations. And when you come in and you share about what you love about Seek Purpose has really helped us kind of listen to what it is that you guys are really asking for and needing. So we have something coming up that we are working really hard at that, do you want to spill the
Should
beans?
we do that now? First, let's talk about Just for 24 because that's coming first. I think we should save the big announcement for the end, so that's going to make you guys stick around. I know as addicts we love instant gratification.
Yes, definitely. And now you're gonna have to make me hold on to this the whole hour. It's gonna drive me nuts.
I can't keep a secret to save my life, but this is worth the wait. So let's start with Just for 24. Last year was our first annual Just for 24. The way this whole thing came together was kind of just from God, obviously. Like, we had nothing to do with it. But Suzanne we were looking for an event to do in April because we had about 3 months for planning, and she had jokingly said, well, let's do something on 420 to combat, the smoke weed day. And so then I said, well, why don't we do 424? Because it's like, just.
And then we both said, I think we jinxed it, and we were like, just 424. And we're like, oh, woohoo. I mean, oh my God. It was just like one of those undeniable, like, hair standing on goosies over goosies going, oh my gosh, just 424. Like, we couldn't have made that up.
No, and we got so excited. I remember even saying, like, maybe this is the thing. Maybe we should quit Seek Purpose, and we got to figure out which is true.
And we grabbed Instagram handles, and we were grabbing, like, Facebook pages, grabbing all the handles we could on Just for 24. So we still have them all because we're going to, jump ship from Seek Purpose and just go full into Just for 24.
Yeah, the only problem with it is it's just one day a year, so we'd be pretty bored the rest of the year.
That's true. Exactly.
But Just for 24, what we came up with was it's just a day to celebrate sobriety. And if you are someone in sobriety or supporting someone in sobriety, just stay sober for 24 hours and share your experience online. And we're in the second year. We're really excited. We're going to be doing a 3-hour event this year that goes from 4:24 p.m. Eastern time to 4:24 p.m. Western time. So I think that'll be 1 o'clock to 4:30, something like that. We'll put out the information. And so we're just lining up speakers right now. We're going to get some really incredible people to come and share their story and their experience and how they're finding purpose in recovery. And just get inspired by these incredible people that we've gotten to meet along this insane journey of podcasting.
It has been. I'm really excited. And what I love about Just for 24 is it just really helps the community and the family. So if you're supporting somebody, not actually having a drink for an entire day, in just support of somebody who's living like that is kind of a really cool part of it as well. So those social weed smokers, you can't do that for a day. No 5 o'clock wine for you normies, just for a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the big thing is living in the day, like just being present for your day, putting down your phone, like being in the moment, and just really living for 24 hours and being conscious of that. It's not easy, especially these days, because of how accessible it is to get distracted, like with your phone or TV. There's just endless things to consume. You can order your food on an app. You don't even have to go grocery shopping anymore. Like everything's instant gratification. Everything's available at your fingertips to consume 24 hours a day. So it's really just a day to be present in your recovery, appreciate it, have gratitude for it, share it with whoever online that will listen to you.
Mm-hmm. And at exactly, depending on where you are in the world, unfortunately we haven't. Hopefully next year our goal is to kind of, we have some connections in New Zealand and Australia and UK, and hopefully next year we can bring it out there as well. But right now we're going to stick with North America and be able to have a moment of silence in 2 time zones, which will really be given in honor of the families as well as the people that we've lost in to this disease, the addiction. Mental health. So yeah, we'll have a moment of silence at precisely 4/24.
So that is what is coming up next. That'll be April 24th. And if you want to be a speaker, want to share your message, want to send a blog post or anything for that day, or a post we can share on Instagram, want to get connected and see how you could help out or learn more, or even set up your own event in your city for Just for 24, or in your continent if you're not in the East Coast or West Coast of North America here, like get in touch with us. This is your day if you're in recovery to celebrate, and if you want to set something up, we want to help you with that for sure. We have little gifts that you can use if you type in Just for 24 on your gift stickers, so you can stamp a little gift when you're sharing your message, and make sure you use the hashtag Just424 and tag us at Seek Purpose Now.
Exactly. And we'll have some really cool prizes, and I can't wait to I can't say that today because we're not going to announce that today. You have to wait. But there'll be some pretty cool prizes by tagging. We're going to giveaways and different things like that. It'll be fun.
Yes. Mm-hmm. All right, let's go through our season 4 lineup so far. Yeah. I don't know if we're going to end the season right now. We might leave it open and add a few more people at the end of March, just before April. But we thought it would be good to take a bit of a break so we can really focus on this event coming up, because we want it to be huge. We really want to start getting it out into more media, press, and that sort of things, to get the word of recovery out to more than just our recovery community. And like how living clean and sober and the principles we live by are really for everybody. They're not just for people in recovery. Like, there is so much addiction out there that has nothing to do with drugs and alcohol, and so many people that need this lifestyle and need your message. And that is what that day is about. So let's talk about our first guests on season 4. We had Lolita coming back with her business partner Ashley at Recovery Life Apparel. Such incredible women, and they're so inspiring and so adorable. It's so much fun on TikTok.
Yeah, I think that's when things really started evolving for us here too at Seek Purpose, of having a guest come back, because she was our first guest that we've had more than for the second time. And it was exciting because when we first met her, even before she came on the show, just how she evolved and transformed her life, her recovery, her business. Was exciting to have her share that, and then to have her come just a few months later, we realized how important those messages are to continue to bring you, and not just bring you a speaker and then let's just forget. You forget, because we even went through going, who did we have already? I can't wait to be able to show those transformation stories of how people are actually living out their purpose, and how that's changing. So that's kind of what happened with her. both of them, of what they're doing now. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, they were at, I think they're just around 20,000-ish followers when we first had them on, and then they were up at like 100,000 the next time. It was crazy. They just exploded. And it's so cool to get to hear those stories. I feel like the recovery community, there's so much passion and drive and creativity here. Everyone we've met has really just been these like beautiful people with these huge dreams that, you know, they get snuffed out in addiction. And so it's so cool to get to see these people just grow and thrive in recovery with this new lifestyle. It's like nothing is impossible. And we literally are, well, I might just be biased because I'm in the recovery community, but I feel like we're taking over.
Yeah, we're like, actually probably like, what do we call them? Recovery Army? I know you're out there listening. The Recovery Army actually is another guess. It's kind of out of, are we going to go in line or are we going to go in order? I guess we should go in order. You're going to have to hold off, Mike. We're not going to talk about you yet. It just seemed like appropriate about the hashtag Recovery Army. That
Yeah, go for it. Talk about it. Yeah. We can jump back and forth. This is our show. We get to do whatever the hell we want.
That's right. Yeah, just how everybody's coming together on social media. Like a lot has happened for myself because just seeing people coming in and experiencing and finding purpose in recovery in a totally different way than what the world has always been accustomed to, me definitely included, and how how people have kind of the silver linings of how people have swam around and found some incredible ways to connect, to get messages, to find hope and inspiration. And yeah, Recovery Army is one of them. You know, just showing up on a TikTok, Be Magic we had before Christmas. Really great episode. And, you know, he's like, I don't know about all these people who are doing these 12 steps, man. I didn't do 12 step. And he's sharing a message, and just people's lives are being saved from an app. Like if you'd have told me that like 10 years ago, I'd be like, no way. Like there's just no way.
Yeah, social media can be used for good, believe it or not. It is possible to actually use social media to get connection and be social.
And the path, and I think the biggest message that I've realized for sure through social media is the pathway of how you're getting there is, you know, I know there's been brawls out there of which way is the right way. And you know, I definitely am grateful that I've learned that whatever you believe in, whatever you do is not my business. You know, whatever is happening in my life is between me and my creator. And, but whatever pathway to recovery that you're getting to, I've really loved the fact that so many groups are opening up to all pathways, you know, and the love, that's just a full circle of love. It doesn't matter. We're all in this together. And I love like the stigma ends here. I got to get that right, with also Recovery Mike, who is doing some great things, him and his wife, opening up support meetings. Soon to be wife. That's right. Because
yeah, that was exciting. We got to be the place where they announced their engagement to the online world, which is just like insane. That was Recovery Mike and his fiance Jen. Oh my gosh, we have to like we should be the exclusive on their wedding. I feel like Mike, we need to make that happen.
Yeah. Yeah, he's giving lots of love. And he actually says it's not our job to judge, just get it no matter what it takes. And it's true. And I think that's one good thing that's been happening in the recovery scene for sure, in all levels of all platforms, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Now we have Clubhouse, which is also really stirring up the online community into a different platform that can be done, that I think some of those old school people who don't want to show their faces are going to feel comfortable and find that place that, oh, I can show up on this place and not show, you know, my face. I can actually just be a voice. And I think that's going to also create a whole new outlet for people to experience recovery. And
Yeah, I didn't think there was going to be another social media app that would take off as much as Clubhouse has been. it felt like we're overwhelmed with things to keep up with already. I didn't think people were going to want to add another one, but I've definitely found a really cool community on there. Like, I've been tapping into their recovery meetings through Sobriety Clubhouse, and it's like 11 o'clock at night. They have an after meeting chat where you just kind of sit and talk and have that like coffee after a meeting with someone that we don't get to have right now because of COVID and all the restrictions. So I've been finding it really, really awesome. We actually just launched with the Sober Curator. There's so much to talk about. So much.
Yeah, okay, yeah, we move on. Move on. Sorry, Mike. I know you like to be center of attention. I'm just joking. No, you don't. Your message is incredible. And if you guys have not checked him out, we're actually just talking on TikTok beforehand. We're going to create him a really cool GIF for all you recovery army group. Anybody can be
groupies.
Groupies. Your groupies. It's not really groupies. It's just really a great community to connect with. They have meetings, they have supports. They started a podcast themselves. Lovely guys with passion, purpose. You just sit with them for like a few minutes on his lives, and you just get some of his passion through the screen. You just can't get enough. So check them out.
Yes, so let's talk about the Sober Curator, because this has been a huge thing that has happened really recently. We met with Elise. She was on our show, and, booking that, we got talking. She's so incredible. We absolutely stand by what she's doing. And love it to death. Like, we wanted to do something similar, but obviously we can't wear a million hats. And we're just so happy that there's something out there that is available for us in recovery. And so what she has is basically a sobriety magazine that's all about pop culture in recovery. So it's nothing clinical. It's like stories of influencers. It's fun non-alcoholic drinks that aren't necessarily mocktails, but there's some of that on there as well. But lots of different types of bubbly waters and things, and reviews on podcasts, and lists of books to read and that sort of thing. So if you really want to dive into the recovery lifestyle and not just the meetings and the support, it's a great place to go. And it's just like a one-stop shop to see everything that's available to people in sobriety. Lots of different movie suggestions as well, which was what we talked about last week on the Sober Pop Clubhouse. And we've partnered with the Sober Curator to become the Canadian Curators, so that's really exciting.
This is so exciting. I mean, when I met Elise, she has got such a great... I never thought anybody would be like an energizer bunny like me. She is got such great energy. I wish I could hold up to her. She definitely, I'm telling you, I will get an email from her, and then all of a sudden there'll be 3 others, and I'm like, holy, the creative juices that goes through this lady's brain. I mean, she should just sell that. I really think it would be worth. I mean, honestly, at least if you're listening out there, I think you need to make that stuff in there available for all of us, okay? Because it is just bursting at the seams with some pretty creative things going into what she's doing. And I actually love she has started a pilot little talk show that I loved. It was it was so good. And it had like, I felt like I was like on Ellen's show, like they're having somebody coming and being real and authentic, sharing a story, and then was able to make cocktails, not like mocktails, and gave some really great tips, and the humor, she's so witty. And all the Sober Curators actually that we're getting to meet now has been exciting to network.
Yeah, I cannot wait to see how this grows. Elise is just a powerhouse, and I feel like she's building an empire here. So I'm really excited to be on that journey with her, for Seek Purpose to be a part of that and be able to share kind of what we have to offer with her community and vice versa. I think it's going to be a really exciting partnership. I can't wait to see how it grows. But for right now, what we are doing is every Wednesday night before our recovery meeting, we go on to Clubhouse and talk about sober pop culture. This week we are doing famous people in recovery. And so we're just going to bring a celebrity that we want to chat about, and some things that we love about them, and things people maybe didn't know about them, and share inspiration through celebrities that are also clean and sober.
I'm excited for that one. I actually played hooky last week. I'm taking a course that's been, oh my goodness, back at school. I have been challenged 3 hours twice a week, and I skipped it. Just like, I ain't missing hanging out with my gals. Like, there's just no way. And they're talking about movies, sober movies, and that's my jam. I am a movie buff. I love anything to do with recovery in any sort of television, movies. That was my jam. So we were able to talk about movies in a different way through the recovery perspective, what we've learned from them. You know, some women are like, oh my goodness, I saw that when I was drinking. I think I better go back and watch it now that I'm sober. And how much healing can come from it, and inspiration from watching some pretty good movies and hearing what other people are saying and suggesting and different perspectives. Definitely have those movies back on my bucket list for sure. So
yeah, what I really loved is talking about kind of the movies that spoke to you in recovery as like, oh my gosh, they're telling my story. And I think looking for those are so important. I feel like we find those in recovery meetings about seeing them on screen. It helps us get out of denial, because you see this person and you're like, I've done that, I did that, that's me, like I felt like that, and you connect with them, and then all of a sudden it's easier to understand yourself because you're seeing it outside of yourself. When we're in it, you can't see it because you're in it. Like, it's so easy to be in denial, but when you see it in like on screen right in front of you, you cannot deny it. It's like, shit, I have a problem. Like, I was that bad.
I always used to watch movies like that and be like, oh my God, that is like my girlfriend, that's like my boyfriend. I was so codependent when every other relationship, if I could think about all of them before I thought about me, that was my comfort zone. So I had a little bit different experience, but it is, now when I watch them, I 100% do the same thing, thinking, oh my gosh, like that was me in my drinking. Now that I'm sober is what I'm saying. That's what you were saying, right? Now that you're sober.
Yeah. The one that I really identified with, that I shared, that no one has seen that I know, it was on Netflix for a little while, in Canadian Netflix. I don't know if America had the same thing, but it was called I Smile Back, and it's with what's her name? Sarah Silverman, the comedian, but she doesn't play, it's not a comedy. It's like a really, really intense, like, good movie. It reminds me exactly what my addiction was like, all the pain, the fear. If I would have kept going, it's like every time I need a reminder of my step one, that is the movie I want to watch. I had to buy it on iTunes because they took it off Netflix, but it's such a good movie if anybody wants to check it out. What about you, Suzanne? What movie did you really connect with?
Well, I've always said the movie that I connect with the most is 100% When a Man Loves a Woman. I love that movie because it shows the full spectrum of addiction and what it does to the person who's addicted, the children, the grandparents, and also, of course, the husband, who is 100% my future husband. If I ever left Dave, I used to say that to Dave all the time. He'd always say, oh, it's Johnny Depp. And I'm like, well, Johnny Depp was kind of hot, but no, it would have been Andy Garcia. But he'd have to wear that pilot hat. I'm sorry. He was the pilot in that movie. But yeah, the movies that I go to and I actually use a lot to help people kind of find a different sense of understanding within their family unit. Because often when you get clean and sober, it's like, oh wow, my purpose now is to be sober and recovery. And then you get so loved when you come into the rooms of recovery that you can't get enough of it. And then you got to leave and you got to go back home and you're like, no, I don't want to do this. And so often people break up, marriages tear apart, and often it's us that can tear away, and often it's them that can tear away, the normies that just can't take it anymore. But the other truth of the matter is once we continue to stay sober and get in touch with the roots of who we are and what we have, healing can happen. And what happens is that families can come together. And through a lot of healing, a lot of work, people do change, and purpose changes within the family. And we'll actually learn that a lot through another guest that we had, which is Brittany Jade. And
she came on with her mother, Debbie,
yeah,
for our second episode this season. Oh my gosh. This one excites me. We've already been in touch with her to get her back on the show because
her and her hubby.
life does not stop like getting incredible and changing like month after month. It's just like, holy cow, I can't believe where you're at today. Like her sober life has just been so magical. And yeah, speaking of families reconciling and everything, first of all, her mom being there for her and how she supported her is absolutely beautiful. Please go listen to that episode and just, you know, hear from a mother's perspective what it's like having a daughter in addiction. Even like afterwards, she was saying that she was nervous about sharing certain things about her daughter because she doesn't want her to feel like bad about herself anymore. And that's such an important thing. Our family members, they when we're in addiction, cover for us so much and just want us to feel okay, and sometimes aren't willing to be honest about their own feelings to protect our feelings. And so to have her come and open up so much on that podcast, like, it was just so beautiful and so brave of her, because I know she said that was very difficult.
Actually, you know something, and I while witnessing it and, you know, being in recovery and being in early recovery in a relationship and toxicity and separation and, you know, crazy, myself sober actually, listening to her come and share the first time, I remember her sharing her story of what it was like, what happened in her addiction, and also her marriage. And it was almost like I felt like I was witnessing something with her, kind of reflecting as she was sharing her story. And I think not just our podcast, but just that's what happens when we start sharing our stories and we start thawing out. You know, it was really special to be able to, I think, see her witness that part. And then also, I'm sure with her family, listening to her, you know, recover out loud, literally day to days, and how that changed her family, how that changed her mom, and certainly her partner, to the point that he turned into kind of like that Andy Garcia. That's what I love about that story. Like, that's kind of their journey. You know, she went off to treatment, they separated. You know, Andy Garcia, or her hubby, is now, you know, sought his pathway, you know, to healing, and they're able to come together and reconcile really safely, and taking it really slow, and coming out loud and sharing that all with us has just been really special. I'm so happy for them. Like, I couldn't when I saw it come out, and I said that to her too on the podcast after, and even to her mom. We actually have it recorded, but not for you guys. Maybe we should probably put that out, but it was pretty loud after the podcast. But asking her mom, I remember saying, like, what would you do if they got back together? And, you know, and same type of response that she gave on her live TikTok, you know, just a supportive, loving mom. Again, because she also too found her own recovery. And I think that was a real key in her journey that, you know, Brittany is sharing publicly, is her mom and how her mom has healed in her own path. Her partner is healed in her own path, and Brittany's healing in her own path. And then they're able to come together. And I always say that within my own marriage. How do you and Dave do it? You know, this is 30 years. We've literally been together 30 years. Like, we can actually say it's been 30 years, not coming up. It's been 30 years. And that's why, is our recovery and our healing has always had to be number one. Yeah, so.
Yeah, it's so cool that she was, like, watching her announce that and go through that and just own what she has gone through, the things she said, because it was a messy breakup. Very public, messy breakup. Her big thing when she first got on social media was sharing about how she was getting a divorce and throwing her ring into the ocean and burning her dress, and calling him a narcissist, to do all these things. So, you know, like, to be there and say, yeah, that's how it was.
That's right.
And now we've gotten healing, and we're going to do something different, and we're taking it day by day, and this is our new journey. And just being able to own it and not be embarrassed by it and not feel shame by it, and just go for it and say, this is the life I want for my family, for my kids, and it's worth fighting for. in public. It's just so brave, so incredible, and really, really inspiring. And I wish that for everybody, that we can just feel free to be ourselves and live our lives, and just let whoever's listening learn to accept it.
Yeah, I mean, I can't agree with you more. My mom, who, oh man, yeah, her stories really touched me because it's just identifies so much with you know, hearing my story as far as, you know, how I sobered up and the relationship I had with my mom. And yeah, it's just inspiring to see how she's using her pain and her brokenness and sharing about it, healing from it, finding her passion, and being able to find purpose through it all. Has been something that has really excited me, being a part of Seek Purpose and seeing that, witnessing it. So thank you, Brittany. I am so happy for all of you and your family, and reconciliation. That's got to be the most powerful. It doesn't mean it's not going to be crazy and she's going to be calling him back crazy next week, because I mean, just letting you know, after 30 years of marriage, you're probably going to want to kick him out of bed a few times. Just saying that right now. Because, you know, relationships go up and down. There's so many different things that happen in life, right? And, you know, but the fact that you guys are, you know, making a choice today and happy and sharing that, love it.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
All right, let's talk about Lauren Ashley. Oh my gosh. I think this is the first podcast I really bawled. Like, I could barely hold it together. I just related to her journey so much. We were about a month different in our grief journeys. And yeah, when she was sharing about finding her husband after he committed suicide, like, I could see it. Like, I felt like I was there with her, and it was just, there's nothing more painful than losing someone you love, and there's no, like, handbook, there's no idea when you're going to feel better. There's no, like, as much as you try and you get help and you talk to a counselor and you do all these things and you still feel shitty sometimes, and you're like, what's wrong with me? Am I ever going to feel better? Is it going to be the rest of my life? Like, it's the most confusing and heartbreaking, and, you know, there's a lot of beautiful things in it as well, but you're almost scared to be happy when you're in grief. You're afraid to let people see you happy because you don't want to be judged for being happy, and then you don't want to seem too sad because you don't want people to feel like you're a downer, and it's just like such a hard place to be in. So I really loved that she came on and shared so openly about what that journey was like for her and how she sought help as someone that's not in recovery but loved an addict as well. That's a really important part of our podcast here, is showing the, like, 360 view of what recovery is like for everybody, not just an addict.
I can't agree with you more. And again, how this season has really evolved into finding stories, not finding, like, just blessed to be able to experience connections like that, because it just happened again on TikTok and Instagram, and just chatting with her and giving her encouragement and love, and you know, through that connection was able to have her come on. And, you know, again, here is a person's most broken time of her life, and through that, somehow she was able to come forward and bring purpose to that. Like, that was a big thing she was saying in that experience, is that she just couldn't allow him to, you know, die without finding some purpose to save, you know, couldn't save him, but now thousands can be saved. And that, I mean, I've got goosebumps, and it's the same thing. You know, just sitting here as your friend and knowing your situation, I probably not gonna be able to speak because I'll probably cry. Yeah, just having her share that journey, and then having you with what's happened with Henry and you losing him in August. Yeah, I could see how painful it was for you to be there, but how inspiring it also was for you to be able to know that you weren't alone and what's happening, and to help you get another leg forward in another day, was really great to witness to.
Yeah, I think there's nothing more powerful than being in the presence of people who have been through what you've been through and have made it through the other side. And not that she has yet, like it's a very similar story, but I felt like I wasn't alone in that journey, and it gave me permission to show up as myself online, because it is so confusing when you're going through grief. It feels so fucking stupid to be sitting there with your phone in front of your face when you're dying inside and thinking, this is dumb. Like, I don't even care. I just want to hide. I want to lie under my covers and bawl my eyes out for a year or however long it takes, and then I'll come and I'll give myself to you guys. Like, it feels so silly to be crying and looking at a phone. It just feels unnatural. Like, it feels like maybe this isn't appropriate or whatever. Like, so many things go through my head. What are people going to think? How are they going to judge me? And there's no rule book on it. All of this stuff is new. Social media is new. Grieving out loud is new. Recovering out loud in this kind of way is new. Mm-hmm. So there's no, like, you know, this is the right way to do it, this is the wrong way to do it. And there's a beauty in that, because we're kind of forced to be authentic. We're forced to just do what feels like we should do. And if it wasn't for all the messages I get from people saying, I've been through the same thing as you, and it happened a few years ago, and now I'm okay, and things get better, and it will still hurt, but you're going to learn how to deal with it, and you're going to be able to manage it better, and being able to give me that comfort, I don't think I would be making it through and still showing up on this podcast and still being able to kind of give what's going on with me out into the world. Those were so important, and it was so important for me to get messages from people who have just lost somebody and were looking at me like saying, you know, I can't believe this is happening, like, how are you getting through it? And to be able to talk to those people as well is just, it's given meaning to something that feels really unbearably, like, horrible. You know. I haven't lost somebody in my immediate family like you have, and I can't understand or even begin to pretend I understand what it would feel like to lose somebody so close to you from this disease, or for any purpose, really. My heart just breaks every time, you know, I've sat beside people that I've known, that have come into my home, that I've learned to love, and just have them not here anymore is so painful. And I know what I've experienced in those losses, being in recovery as long as I have. That's got to, and I've been told, I've said that the most painful thing I've gone through in my recovery is for sure losing the ones that haven't made it. So if I take that and probably multiply it 1,000, maybe I might, not even tap into what you and Ashley are experiencing. So I'm grateful that you guys are sharing, and so many people out there, if you have lost somebody, you know, and you're feeling into that place of, you know, hopelessness, brokenness and pain, you know, I really encourage you to follow Lauren Ashley Studios is actually her handle on Instagram, as well as TikTok. She is very raw. I'll warn you, trigger warnings right now, but she has a lot of really great solutions, and she's just not getting up there talking about all the sadness. She's really talking about how she gets through, different tips that she does to kind of survive through a day, and it's comforting. It really is. And also Brooke too has some TikToks. I mean, my heart broke. You just were at Mom's yesterday, and you know, you shared a personal moment on your TikTok that was just very raw. And yeah, I just cried watching you be in such a painful moment. So yeah, let's take a deep breath.
Yes, we were live.
Speaking of painful moments, let's talk about Tom McDonald not showing up.
Yeah, Tom McDonald not showing up. I mean, that was like, yeah, that was, I mean, it's to be expected. I don't know. I know that was, I don't think I've had a panic attack like that in a very long time. And like tonight, you know, Brooke said, we're live. I'm just like, we're live? We don't have a guest. You know, but I guess God knew what was going to happen and what was in store again for us at Seek Purpose, because We did get really, pardon me for yelling, we got so excited about having him saying yes, pinning down the date, and it was like yes again, and we're like, oh my God. And you know, we did so much. I mean, Brooke will share this, but she was researching, I was researching. We were so excited to be able to have this guest. And you know what it did is when then we started thinking, honestly, who else could we get? Who else could we get? We started going through, and then it really took away from really how we all started. And we really started with the authentic story of people who have overcome the most incredible broken moments in their life and how they've transformed and found purpose. And the first guest that we had on that night just delivered it home for me, and it just shut my mouth up. It humbled me. And Nicole, I know you're here listening because she shows up almost every week now. And I still chat with her. And she just came in so excited to be on the podcast. And she shared a real story of where she was at. And man, that was such a good episode. And just,
Yeah, we had 6 people show up, and some older guests, like Chuck was there, and Recovery Sal. Oh my gosh, it was so cool to get to meet him.
Oh my gosh, yes. He's on our neck. He's here too. He's always watching, Sal. I'm looking over here at the boys are all supporting, and you know, Sal will be on our next season. Maybe we'll now have to have you sooner than later because it looks like our season's not ended.
Yeah. And it was just such a cool thing. Like, we just opened it up, put the link out there, and said anyone who wants to jump on and be on a podcast today, get on here. And it turned out to be one of the most fun I think we've had on a podcast.
Yeah.
And it worked out so beautifully. And I mean, I hope maybe someday Tom McDonald will get back to us, because I would love to hear his story. I don't see it a lot. There's not really any interviews with him sharing his recovery journey. So
yeah,
we'll see what happens with that, but I'm not going to hold my breath.
And actually, this is a terrible thing. We were sitting there going, well, maybe God's just looking out for, maybe there's a good reason why he didn't come on the show. We didn't know because he was going to drop his video. And I mean, we didn't know what was going to be in the way the rise up of the pump of this video is going to shut down social media. He's going to get banned everywhere. So we're like, well, maybe this is a good thing. And, you know, that's the things that you go through your brain. I mean, no offense, Tom, your stuff is incredible. I'm still playing you. I still love you. Like, his music is very powerful. But what a song, like what a release. And then it's incredible. I mean, really what he's doing in the voice, he's definitely on a massive purpose-driven road.
That's for sure.
Yeah. So anyways, we just thank all of you guys that came on and loved us through that night, because it was very difficult. And it really helped. That whole evening is what Brooke and I have gone through developing our next, I can't say it yet, right?
We're almost there. We need to speed up though, because it's already.
Oh my God! Okay, let's hurry up.
Mike and Jen were next. We absolutely freaking love them. They announced their engagement on the podcast, which was just like the coolest
Valentine's.
thing. He messaged me right before we went live, telling me that he just proposed and he wants to announce it on our thing, and I just like freaked out. I swore. There's some profanities in there. I was just so excited. I don't know why, but I just am like, I eat up that couple. They're so adorable, and I just want to watch them. Every time he's live, I'm like waiting for Jen to come on there too, because their dynamic is just so amazing. And hearing their love story, like, it made me jealous, honestly.
Yeah, they've known each other since she was 14, wasn't it? Or something
like that. Yeah, it reminded me a lot of me and DJ, actually, like the similarities. Me and DJ both worked at the same place at the same time, but in different cities, and like there's a lot of parallel things between their story, me and DJ, but just the connection they have today and how she like supports his recovery and stuff. I was just like, damn.
She supports his recovery so much. I don't know if you got this part of the story, because when I listened back, you know, she's not a person that suffers from addiction. She definitely has grown up with much addiction around her, and obviously being, you know, with Mike, and she has gone out and started a women's support that is dynamite. And I wish I could attend it more. because it's Friday nights, which is a perfect night for a recovery meeting, because Friday nights is always seems to be the toughest, not only for the person that's trying to, find a new sober purpose in their life, but also for the family members, the wives, and especially the wives who are also going through those moments that maybe their partner isn't sober, that they're wondering where they are they're going to come home tonight. But anyways, she has a fabulous group on Monday night. So you have to check out Recovery Mike. And they have in his bio, he will have all of the Zoom links and whatnot for her group. And she just has such
their website's live as well
that's
now,
right.
too.
That's right.
recoveryarmyoutreach.com if you guys want to go check that out and support, donate to them. They're doing some really incredible things in the community. They give
so much giving.
For people that are living on the street can come and choose what they want. They're really into making people who are living on the streets, who are in addiction, feel valued and feel like they have some autonomy, like they are allowed to come and pick what they want for their gifts and things, or for their handouts. I don't know what handouts probably not the right word. Gifts, I'd say. I don't know. But listen to the episode to get more of an idea of what they're up to and how incredible their mission is, and then definitely head over to their website, donate, do whatever you can to get involved. Giving back is the fastest way to your purpose. We just kind of, this last few weeks, I've been doing a lot of clubhousing and learning from people who are way far ahead of the game than I am in podcasting and life. And something I heard on there, I wish I could remember who said it so that I could give him some credit, but he said, our passion is what lights us up and our purpose is how we light up others. And I just something inside me just went like, that's it. And so we've really adopted that into our mission of seek purpose and how we want to help people find purpose, help people light others up. That's really what our next steps are going to be, which we're going to get into so soon. But first, Nikki and John came on after Mike and Jen to share their incredible journey in marriage and spirituality and bringing God and Jesus into their lives. That was such an awesome episode and one of our most listened to, which is so funny. Probably the sound wasn't great and everything on that one, so I was a little bit nervous about it, but it was like the best listened to episode of the year. People are just desperate, I think, to heal their relationships. That is the most painful thing right now for people, I believe, going through this pandemic, living with your partner. It's like, how the hell do I make this work without being able to escape
it's true.
do my thing, right?
So true.
And how do I have a mental breakdown and ask for help and support and love from somebody? It's really hard stuff. So I think people are really hungry for that information, and John and Nikki really delivered.
Yeah, they did. And just the month of February, just having them, and then of course Mike and Jen, who they're blowing up saying she's amazing, she's most and both these women in these relationships, and also John and Mike is the compatible partners. It takes two, it's not just one. It definitely takes two. And you're right, like the relationship, I always definitely voice very loudly, getting sober, walk in the park. Staying married is a whole nother ball game. So, last year, through listening to my story at Christmas time, I definitely was done. I had that moment again, then I'm throwing in the towel like the 50th millionth time. And, God had another plan. And it was actually that moment that I thought I was going to lose my husband, that God just said, okay, that's what you want. How about, losing him? How does that feel? And it didn't feel so good. And from that, with all my issues with writing, dyslexia, learning disabilities, anyways, I wrote this, not me, God helped me write this, seeking intimacy. And, I'm fun. I talk about sex a lot, I know, guys, but it's not so much about that in a relationship, because before all that is happening, it is the communication and the connection, and it has nothing to do with sex. It has everything to do with my relationship, with myself and my Creator, and then I'm able to be a loving and supportive partner to Him. And so if you want to check that out, you can see all the insides of the little tools. It's not just a book, it's really tangible ways that you can connect in your relationship. But yeah, having John and Nikki and Mike and Jen, and yeah, it's been a good season so far.
Yes. Yeah, it was really good. I got a lot out of that episode, and I actually worked with Nikki and John with my own marriage through their coaching program, and there's some really cool stuff in there that brought me and DJ closer together and started thinking about our priorities and what we really want as a family. So go and check them out for sure. And then we had Elise and Jacob, her son, come on again, a 360 view of how this recovery thing is affecting not just us, but those around us.
Yes.
We got to be on their Sober Spotlight for the Sober Curator, which is how we got to meet Elise. Actually, first Suzanne was on her top 25 TikTokers to follow, and then after that we ended up being on her Spotlight. But yeah, so cool. She's such an amazing woman. We definitely talked a lot about her already, but I just want to give her another shout out.
And her story with her son too, again, that is, so important here at Seek Purpose is, it's not just us who are in recovery. It's just a whole 3-dimensional view of our families, connection, reconciliation, healing, finding purpose now that we're sober. It doesn't necessarily mean a purpose like we're going to be amazing purpose-driven people like Mike, who's still here listening, and Travis. And sometimes people feel like guilty that they should be doing more, but sometimes it's just about being a purpose of being a really connected parent, a really connected wife, a really purpose-driven member of your community. So that's what we do here. We really bring light to those stories, and we're so appreciative for all the families that have stepped forward, usually last minute, because the last one we didn't talk about before we tell is Ronnie. And he was on last week, and let me tell you, that's exactly what happened. Yeah, he literally an hour before, Brooke's like, what?
Yeah, I know. He's like, I'm bringing on my boyfriend Nathan, and I honestly, I've followed him on Facebook, but I had no idea. Like, I'd never done any research or anything. I got so nervous before that episode, and then as soon as they came on, I was just like, oh, like, Nathan is just so incredible, and Ronnie, their story, their love story, what they're doing in the community, how they're helping others, their vision for, especially Ronnie's vision for how he wants to really serve the recovery community. And Nathan, what he's doing with Oxford House is just like yeah, my jaw was on the floor. I was like, okay, thank you, God. Obviously I'm not in control for a reason.
Isn't that just so great? Because if you guys have a problem with what we're doing, just take it up there. Sometimes literally we just press play and what? But having them on last week, I was so, oh man, yeah, I just couldn't get enough of them. And again, they're definitely going to be a couple that we will be bringing back, along with Jen and Mike and all of our guests this season, and even some that we're going to bring back that we've talked about, from our past. Selena, we talked a lot about Selena, and Dev, who was traveled the world and the normie. But there's a lot of really amazing guests. If you've not gone back to listen to the podcast from the beginning, there's incredible stories of people that have overcome the most insane moments of brokenness and have really come through the other end and found a light and a purpose in their lives. So yes. So Ronnie, we love you. Nathan, we love you.
Yes.
And
yes, thank you for dropping in, Nathan. We're so excited to get to meet you.
Yes.
And now you're part of the family too.
Yep.
I love what he said at the end. We family now.
Yeah. Definitely. So it leads us with where we are headed and kind of what's been birthed the last little while through the season, through how God's really working within both of us here, Brooke and I, on the direction that Seek Purpose is moving into, and what you, most importantly, are really feeding into, your desperation of what you need. And what we hear over and over and over again is the purpose is a need to find your passion and your joys and your purpose, and how do I get there? So you take it.
Yes. All right. So you might have noticed we dropped a surprise episode on you guys, a Thursday takeaway from Ronnie's episode. And really, we just kind of looked back at all of February and the whole idea around love and relationships and dating and recovery, and gave you some more takeaways and tangible things to really put into your own recovery or think about in terms of how you want to move ahead with dating and recovery. And we want to be doing more of that. We want to be giving you like actual tips and tricks based on what we've learned from our guests and what we've gone through personally, in order to help you find your purpose, help you heal and find passion in your life. And so we've put together something that we're so excited to launch. It's not even close to ready yet, but we have a really great outline done. But it's called Unleashing Your Purpose, and it's going to be a course that helps you heal through your pain, find your passion, explore your passions and find your purpose. And we've come up with a really easy formula that anybody can do, that will take you, it's just a kind of step-by-step guide to helping you find that pathway to purpose that's unique to you. Mm-hmm. And then we also are building this community to have a platform for you to really share your message, make a big impact. Come on the podcast, let people know what you're going to be up to. If you want to write a book or start your own show or do those kind of things, that we really want to be there from start to finish to help support you on your journey to purpose.
Yes, because it's all about giving back. That's right. Yeah, we're excited, and we're going to do probably a one-day webinar free. That is something that changed both my husband and I, that we learned. I was probably about 15 years, maybe a little bit later, sober. And we ran a big marketing company, and man, we wanted to open this business, and we had this really great gal who taught us how to create a purpose statement for our marriage. And it became what was necessary for us to move forward, because from us going and doing that work and finding that statement that really embodied both of us and what the direction is of our life, I can answer yes or no to everything that comes my way. I can say, is this going to be my purpose? And my husband's my purpose is to bring laughter, joy, compassion, and serenity to all God's children. And all God's children is anybody that he places in our path. So I wish I had that so defined, both Dave and I, when we were in our business, growing up when my kids were little, because we got ourselves involved in a lot of stuff that wasn't aligning with that mission and that purpose, and it really hurt. So the one-day webinar is going to teach you and get you to having your purpose statement and how that can really help drive a really positive direction in your future. So yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, I don't think I've been so excited for something in a really long time, like since we learned how to do the podcast and got this all started.
Yeah.
I just see it being this thing that, like, it's going to help so many people launch into being able to do what we're doing. Like, I want someone to look at me and saying, oh, if she can do this, I can do this. Like, she's no one special. Suzanne, she's had learning disabilities. We have had addiction in our past. I've been butt-ass poor. There's no, I don't have any sort of inheritance or reason that I should be able to do the things I'm doing today. I had no education. I went to marketing. I signed up to go to marketing school at BCIT and went to one class and then left. So school wasn't my thing, but I love to learn. So it's so amazing that we live in a world today where we can learn anything we want to learn on YouTube. Anything we're passionate about, we can get our information. And anything we want to do with our lives, we really can do. There is no gatekeepers anymore. If you want to start a podcast, you can start a podcast today. You don't need fancy equipment, although I love fancy equipment. You literally can start it with your cell phone. You can start a YouTube channel. You can start sharing your message right away. And we just want to help you define what that message is, and then provide you support, encouragement, and direction to get you started. Because that's probably the hardest place, is when you get started. And Suzanne and me went through this. You have so many ideas, and it's so huge. and you just don't know how to direct it. You don't know where to go. You don't know what to say yes or no to, and that's really what we want to help you define.
Yeah, and again, Seek Purpose is not about having you define your pathway to recovery, because we hope that you have that and you find that. Whatever pathway that is awesome, and we're not here to teach you that. Once you have that path, and once you have that, recovery army group, another shout out, then you're going to be able to come here, and we're going to be able to help you develop your life into finding incredible purpose now that you're sober. So that's really the nut and bolts of who we are. I can't believe it's been so exciting. It's only taken us like almost 2 years to kind of really say that out loud. But that's how it works, and keeping an open mind, just like I say with my recovery, I'm grateful that so much has been put in, and I'm like over the moon. I'm just over the moon with all the people that we have met through this experience, the relationship I've had with Brooke. It doesn't matter how sober you are. I've been sober a long time, and that's been a blessing, but you still, if you just keep that bucket open and allow it to be filled, it's just incredible what can happen. So here I am sitting still, living my purpose, living my dream, and I'm excited to be able to have all of you share it with all of us. Yeah, so anyways, why do I always cry? I always cry and talk about sex. It's just, I don't know. It's totally a complete crazy spectrum.
Oh, there's your next book.
Yeah, no. Anyways, thank you so much for everybody. And if there is anything that who you would like to hear, who that would be amazing guest on our podcast. I know we've got some lists of people that we can't wait to bring to you, but we're really open. We're excited about what's happening. We're going to be starting to do 2 shows a week because we don't want anybody to miss out on some incredible stories. And so please send that to us.
Yes. Yay. And if you like what you're hearing, we're looking to get our podcast out there, and reviews is the best way to do that for us. So if you head over to Apple Podcasts and send us a review of the show, let us know what you think, let us know who you want on. That is like the best way to support us ever.
Yes, we forgot to do that too, because we're just like, I don't want to ask for any help. So we're supposed to ask for that. So yeah, if you could give us a review, apparently it helps carry the message a little bit more in the podcast world. So thanks a lot if you can go over and give us a review. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Yay. And keep in touch with us on social media. As always, we're going to be launching a bunch of stuff coming up, so make sure you are subscribed to our Facebook, our YouTube, our Instagram, so you don't miss out on any of the opportunities. We're going to make this very accessible for people, so you can jump in and get started right away with free webinars. We're going to have a really amazing opportunity for you, but we're also going to have kind of entry-level stuff to get started, so you're not so overwhelmed. Yeah, because me and Suzette have been doing a lot of work, a lot of courses, and some of them are just really overwhelming.
No, it's not. I'm very simple. Like, just cut through the bullshit and just give me the facts. That's the way things are going to be rolling here. I can just promise you that. So, FYI. Anyways, we want the results. We want you to experience results the fastest, the quickest way that you can actually apply things into your life. And I think that's why it's taken so long, is to make sure that can happen for you with what we produce.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for listening. Yay. And we will see you. We're going to be taking a bit of a break here until the end of March, getting ready for Just for 24.
Yes.
We're probably going to launch some of our older episodes, so you guys can listen to some of our past guests who we absolutely adore that have just kind of gotten lost in the shuffle right now.
Yes.
Actually, you know what we should do? We should ask some of the, and I want to give a shout out to the people who have had us on their shows recently.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
It's just been such an incredible year. We've gotten to know so many people, and we just really appreciate you having us on your show and being able to share our journeys and what we're doing here at Seek Purpose. So thank you to everyone. There's way too many to name.
I know. I was just on Pro Recovery. I'll give him a shout out. He's really starting out. He's from California, and he just started his podcast maybe a couple months ago. He's fantastic, so go check him out. And also stay connected, even though we may not be live in the next couple of weeks here. You can check out Brooke at Sober Lifestyle on TikTok, and myself at soberlifestyle.ca. We don't really talk necessarily too much about purpose. We definitely are a little crazy and emotional, and we have fun. And of course, keep connected on Instagram and also Clubhouse, because the Sober Curators are showing up, and it's going to be a blast every Wednesday. Yeah, stomping, popping, pop culture. Is that right, Elise? I think that's what she said.
Sober pop culture.
No, but she was saying stomping, popping, or something. Popping. Okay. Elise, I need to actually know what we're gonna do. We're gonna bring Elise on. She's gonna be one of our hosts. That'll be it. That's what we should start doing.
Yeah, we'll have some guest hosts.
Yeah,
I would love. Elise's energy is amazing. We'd love to have you on here a lot.
Yeah.
Maybe on the Thursday Takeaway show, you can come and help us dissect our episodes.
Yeah. Love that.
But yeah, maybe that's what we'll do. We'll see if we can get in touch with some of the people's podcasts we've been on and share it on our platform so you guys can listen. Put it all in one place for you. So yes. I'm going to work on that this week. Yes. And thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you, Travis. We love you. We'll have you back on here too. Travis, oh my God, there's so many.
I know.
Okay. Good night.
It's like impossible.
I'm so tired.
Yeah, we could be here forever. Just
they're like, everyone. Okay.
Season 3 was like a year long because we didn't stop through the whole pandemic, and then we're like, we should probably take a break. But like Travis and B Magic and all those guys are on season 3. Yes. Brittany came on, and her first podcast appearance was on our show, sharing her whole story. Mm-hmm. Lolita came on and shared. So make sure you go check out season 3. It is absolutely like, that's when our minds just exploded. We're like, wow, there's something way bigger than us here, that we're just showing up and providing a platform, but these people are doing some incredible things, so please go check them out. And thank you so much for being here. Now we'll let you
go. Good night.
Good night.